Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about something I've really wanted to do for a long time, and that is 10 different ways to collect coins. Now, there's a wide variety of ways to get involved with the hobby, and I wanted to highlight a few of them. Some of them you've probably heard of, others maybe not. There's some really cool ways to collect coins that you may not have even thought existed, and those will be sprinkled in. So I'm looking forward to sharing the information with you. That being said, let's start with the first way to collect coins, which is the way that I personally collect coins. Our first mention of the day is going to be typeset collecting. For those of you that don't know what that means, typeset collecting is when you get one type of each design in a certain set. So that set can really be anything. For me, that's a US typeset that excludes some of the super rare coins like the dollars from the 1700s and things that are extremely expensive but would still go all the way back to include some of our earliest copper coinage, some of the mid 1800s US coins. And what I do is I try to get uncirculated specimens. So that makes it a lot harder, but then you have a really beautiful folder of coins. I'm not too far along in that collection, but that's something that I'm doing. For more beginner collectors, there's also the 20th century typeset, and that just covers coins like Barber and on, which I don't even have completed yet, but those can be a lot more doable because you totally exclude the mid to early 1800s stuff. However, for a really advanced collector, that might mean getting literally almost every coin that America has made, from things like the commemoratives to the early gold. I'm not doing a gold typeset. You can include the gold history of American coins. That'll obviously make the collection way more difficult to achieve, but really the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do there. Our second way to collect coins is collecting a certain design set. So that can take any number of forms, but basically say that you have, let me grab one from my shelf, but right here I have the Lincoln Cents 1941 to 1974. So you could do a set of these and try to get one from every year going from 1941 to 1974, or you could get even more advanced and do a year and mint mark set where you get something like the 1941 P, D, and S instead of just getting one from that year. And if you want, you can do something called the year, mint, and variety set for a complete overview. So that would be including coins like the 1972 double die obverse or the 1984 doubled ear. That can make it a lot more hard to do, but at the end of the day, you do technically have a much more complete collection than if you just do a year and mint mark set. The third thing that I wanted to draw your attention to is the classic commemorative $half set. This is a set that I personally love. I really want to do it when I grow older. It's a little bit out of my price point right now, but basically America from 1892 to 1954 made a ton of really cool commemorative $half. However, a lot of them didn't really get too much popularity and pretty much went under the radar, but the coins themselves are often beautiful, they're gorgeous, they've got nice reliefs, they're really detailed, and they're just something super interesting. So that starts with the Columbian 1892 and 1893 coins, and it includes things like New Rochelle, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Maine, Texas, Oregon Trail. There's all sorts of different commemoratives, and it's something that if you're looking to take a look at some gorgeous art on American coins, that's something that I'd take a look at. Now, one fun fact about that series is that often they're pretty circulated, and that's because in the Great Depression, people are often forced to spend their coins that they collected into circulation, and thus these commemorative $half were getting spent. The next way that I'm going to talk about is a really good way to do budget collecting or just have a really fun time doing something that isn't going to really break the bank but can be really rewarding if you complete a set, and that is a coin roll hunting set. So coin roll hunting, if you don't know already, it's when you go through boxes of coins from the bank, like this one. This is a dime box, and you look for maybe silver coins, but if you're doing a set, you can get like a folder like that penny one that I showed you, and you just try to fill it in only using coins that you're coin roll hunting. That means every coin that's filling in your set was obtained for face value, and you're pretty much discouraged from filling it in with other coins, though it's totally alright to combine a coin roll hunting set and supplement it with some purchases if you're actually just working up to a year or a year in mint mark or a year mint mark and variety set. But that's another way to do it, and a great one for budget collectors, because you can just return the coins to another bank once you're done hunting them. The fifth way that I want to talk about is something that I have almost no knowledge about collecting, but that's ancient and medieval coins. I think that a lot of people have heard about ancient, but often overlook medieval coins. There is a ton of coin history in the world. Coins are not just a recent invention, they've been going on forever. Now, if you look back, there were tons of different civilizations from Asia, from the Middle East, like Persia and Sasania, and all these really cool places, as well as traditional ancient places like Greek and Roman coins. There's African coins. Really, all over the world has had some coinage that is interesting to take a look at. I'm not as familiar with doing something like a typeset, though I did get a chance to see a ancient and medieval coin collection in person at Princeton University. There's some really, really cool coins that a lot of colleges and museums hold, and just getting a few of those coins might be super expensive, but it's still some incredible history that you have in your hands when you're looking and dealing with these coins. In terms of those medieval ones, I've seen them from all over Europe. I'd imagine that they are also with Islamic coinage and African coinage, as a lot more civilizations were going to be producing their own coinage in the medieval time frame as opposed to the ancient. Number 6 is also one that I really, really like collecting myself. This one doesn't really resell quite as well, but it's super cool and fun to complete for me, and that is the world coins. There's so much modern world coinage out there, and there's all sorts of ways to collect it. You can focus on a specific country. What I'm trying to do is really ambitious, and it's going to take a long time, but I'm basically doing every modern country. I'm trying to get one coin from that country, and you can also expand it if you're looking for a challenge on top of that to do something like old, 1800s and back coins. You could try to get a silver coin from each country that's made silver coins. There's all sorts of ways to do it, but that's up to you if you're interested. A 7th way, and this is one of the ones that I bet you probably haven't thought about, is doing what's called slab collecting. Coin grading companies have been around for a while, and some of the slabs that they use to actually encapsulate the graded coins are pretty rare. You'd be surprised. I have a video on it coming out maybe in a month or two, but there are some really, really rare slabs that you want to be on the lookout for. And some people, instead of actually focusing on what the coins are inside of them, they try to complete a slab collection. So thinking about the history of coin grading as opposed to the coins themselves in America. It's not something that I do. It's not something that too many people do. But some of these slabs, as I was saying, are going for pretty serious money, even when the coin is only worth $10 to $50. Coming in at number 8, we have something that's really cool, and I'd love to get more involved with this type of collecting, but that's physical error coins. There were the coins that I was referring to before, like the varieties, like that 72 double die and 84 doubled ear that I mentioned on the penny. There's so many more cherry picker varieties. I do a lot of videos on them myself every Saturday, but this is not talking about any of that. This is talking about physical error coins. These coins may have been clipped planchet, mule coins, capped dies. There's all sorts of ones, and I don't really have too much experience with that either, but the bottom line is that there are a ton of physical error coins. These are not coins that are rare. It's not like a double die coin. Maybe it's been struck off center 50 or 60% really dramatically. Some of the coins can be really, really valuable, especially if you get these coins that are really old. There's a fair amount that you can find probably that are common, but when you go way back and get some really old cool ones, in our coin shop, the Happy Coin, we had this awesome, I want to say it was 1917, not a double die, but really off center struck Buffalo nickel. Maybe it was double struck, great condition. That was a many $1,000 coin. So there's some real value behind these coins, and that's a way that some people collect them. Again, I don't know too many of the people that are collecting in that way, but they definitely exist, and I can see the appeal in some of these really crazy looking error coins. Number 9, you have the junk silver, constitutional silver, or bullion collectors. There's all sorts of precious metals that they can choose from. Things like gold and silver are really standard. There's also platinum, palladium, rhodium, some of the less expensive ones like copper. There's all sorts of ways to get involved with junk precious metals or bullion collecting. The junk silver obviously is going to be silver. That's kind of the most junky coin. It's more rare. You wouldn't call it really junk gold. It's just gold bullion at that point. But there's all sorts of ways to also collect bullion, and those coins are only going to have value pretty much tied to the gold or silver of the coin. This is often better for people who don't have quite as much of a numismatic appreciation. Not that I'm speaking against those people. My great-grandfather really liked the idea of silver and gold. He didn't have a ton of it himself, but he wasn't really more concerned with like the coins behind them, but he just liked having some rolls of silver or something like that. And he did live past 1964, so he saw how silver, shot up way back what it was used to paying for when he was a kid in the 1910s and 1920s. So there's all sorts of collectors like that. That's probably a more common collector, but if you didn't know that they existed, that's cool. And then there's also those other really precious metals. You'd be surprised at the types of money that people are now paying for palladium. I remember when it was way, way less expensive. And then lastly, number 10, we have the information collector. Now, before you're saying, what is that? That's something that I try to be. It's a great way, and it's the most budget way for people to get involved with coins. A lot of people are not in a position, like I'm not in a position, where they can spend a ton of money on buying these rare coins, but instead you can build up your knowledge base around coins. It'll help so much more when you actually go to collect the coins. You really have a much better perspective on coins. You'll really know what you're doing, and you can highlight a series or two that you really, really like. I may change that goal of getting a classic commemorative $50 set. That's something I really like. I've been working in coins for 4 or 5 years in a coin shop. Before that, I collected, and I've just tried to learn so much about coins. When I make these videos about the top 15 barber dimes or something, I learn so much thinking about the eras and key dates. I really get acquainted with the different series, the currency, everything like that. So when I actually go to collect, I have a lot more fun, and none of the information learning is costing me any money. It's just costing me time, and I enjoy it, so it's worth my time. So that is the last way that I'm going to be talking about. I hope that you enjoyed these 10 ways to get involved with coin collecting. And if you have a different way that you collect coins, I'd love for you to leave a comment below so that other people can find out about it. Or if you have any suggestions for future videos, always open to those as well. But with that being said, have a great day, and I look forward to reading your comments. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay in contact with me on my Instagram, TreasureTownYT, Facebook, TreasureTown, or my website, TreasureTownYT.com. And I love receiving packages from you guys. I'll unbox them in a video once I get enough, and my address for that is TreasureTown, P.O. Box 201, Greenwich, Connecticut, 06836. So I'll see you on some of my other videos.